one of these weeks we got to do the backstage talk for everyone else. Everybody, welcome to Football Guys Sunday Morning Live. I am Joey Wright, joined as always by the two best co-hosts in the business, Jeff Bell and Jagger May. Guys, I said earlier I did not want to ask you how your Thanksgiving was because I wanted to be organic on the show. How was your Thanksgiving? Jeff, I'll ask you first.
It was good. It was family time. We did my in-laws on Thursday. She does a fantastic job. She's was a former home ec teacher, and so her meal is amazing. Her son and her husband played college football, so football is very much a part of the family. So we were able to watch the games on Thanksgiving Day and enjoy a good meal, just kind of quiet, low-key. Friday was kind of... I am struggling to get my Christmas lights up right now. And I saw my neighbors like 2 weeks ago when it was 60 degrees out, get their lights up. And I thought, that's probably a smart thing, but also like, I'm just not in a holiday season yet. And it is 30 degrees and I am very angry with past Jeff. So that's that, but I'm in a really good mood. So
we need to have a discussion with past Jeff, I feel.
Yeah. Past Jeff is
Jagger. How was it for you, buddy?
Mine was fine. I didn't spend it with family. To save us money because we have like two families to go see in two different states. We don't do Thanksgiving, but like her mom does live here, so we kind of do like a combined Thanksgiving with family and friends because like my friend has a huge house. So like some people make some mid food, some people make some good food, and I just know who those people are, and I try to find a good spot to watch football and be quiet. So
hopefully the people that make the mid food are not watching right now.
They know who they are.
Okay, they know they are.
Yeah.
So last week I mentioned on the show, I smoked a turkey for the first time. It came out excellent. I documented it on the old Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you got to see the pictures. I did not appreciate the comments about the way I tied up my turkey. Those are very inappropriate, and we don't need to cover that on the show, but be better, people. Be better. Guys, we're here with you today until 12:30. First half hour, as always, with our best friend in the world, Jeff Bell. Following Jeff on the show today, Hutchinson Brown will be joining us, the prodigy of Football Guys will be here with us answering our starts and sits, and then hop over to the Discord for the Sunday morning AMA. And then the last half hour, as usual, Adam Hutchinson will be here breaking down all these injuries, how long we might be looking at the players being out. But before Adam gets here, let's do it with our knowledge that we get just from the beat writers. Out today, J.K. Dobbins. And J.K. Dobbins is going to be out for a while. He was placed on IR. So if you've got J.K. Dobbins, not just on your lineups, but on your team, make sure you get him in that IR spot. Look for replacements. Jagger, if you're picking up a Chargers running back, which guy would be your choice to house why J.K. Dobbins is out?
Gus Edwards, because I know his role. Even let's say if the Kamani Vidal hopefuls get their wish, Gus Edwards is inevitable in the red zone, and that's something I can bet on. He's the one I'd prioritize.
Okay. Also out today, Josh Downs, Austin Eckler, Dalton Kincaid. Jeff, I want to talk to you as the resident Bills fan. It might be a good thing. It looks like there's going to be a fair amount of snow tonight. It might not be as bad as people are expecting. With Dalton Kincaid, are our hopes of him being like a top 5 tight end just dashed at this point, or do you think we can maybe make a rebound next year?
For 2024, yes, I don't expect that. I mean, I still think it's in play for next year. I don't know what's going to happen with Amari Cooper long term. Waiting to see how that plays out. And we've seen enough of playmakers. It's just one of those things that they've just slightly missed. There's been multiple shots downfield where maybe if it had been a wide receiver or if Kincaid didn't break off a route, those types of things, he would have been hit in stride. But they just have missed on some of those shots. And I think you hit those shots, especially for a tight end, you're talking about a different conversation. I still think it's a high priority to involve Kincaid in the pass game. I haven't seen anything out of his game to suggest that he's a bust or anything in that regard. I think he's still a good player. It's just there have been some mouths to feed. They've gone through shifting that offense around a little bit, figuring out what they want it to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Questionable today. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Demario Douglas, Tajay Spears, and Keon Coleman. All those players are questionable today. They are expecting Brock Purdy to be out there. Jagger, if you've got Brock Purdy, what is your comfort level? Because he's got a late game today with starting him.
The 49ers are liars, but I think they were going to put him out there regardless. I just mean like all season they've just like all of a sudden Fred Warner's played without a foot basically all season from what I've heard. It makes me scared of how injured he is, but I do believe they're going to put him out there because they need him and they're in a playoff run. So that's my opinion. How good he plays, I don't know. So
I know you saw the light bulb go on over my head. We've been discussing t-shirt ideas at Football Guys, and I think 49ers or liars would sell pretty well.
I mean,
you need to talk to Taylor about that.
they are. I mean, I got trust issues, man. I keep saying like they keep making me write Drake songs because of Kyle Shanahan. I'm like, bro, I can't believe a word you're saying, and I need you so bad.
100%. That 49ers offense needs them so bad too. Expected to play today: Brees Hall, Bo Nix, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Drake London. Jeff, I'm gonna give you the 3 wide receivers we have on the screen there: DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Drake London. Put them in order for me today.
I've got Drake London 1, DK Metcalf 2, and then Tyler Lockett. Like,
yeah, I knew Lockett was getting the bronze medal, but I was curious who was going to get gold and who was going to get silver. Jagger, are you on the same page there as Jeff?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I think DK Metcalf is the number 1 wide receiver for the Seahawks, but I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to have the most targets. And I just think moving forward, that's the way it works.
Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of teams succeed with that type of offense. And then not expected to play today, Devonta Smith. He is still going to try to practice workout pregame, but they are not expecting him to be out there today. So go ahead. If you've got him in your lineups, pull him out and put somebody else in as a replacement. Now, if you've got the option where you can play someone the Sunday night and hold on to see for 425, go ahead and do that. But as it looks now, Devonta Smith is not going to be playing today. If you're watching us here on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're watching us on Twitter, make sure to follow the account and follow us on Blue Sky as well. We're putting our content out over there as well. Having a good time over there in the blue skies. Is that what they say? Flying the blue skies? I don't know what people say. I don't have my finger on the pulse anymore. I don't know what to say. But guys, let's hop right into these questions. That's why these people are here today, not to hear me ramble. Maybe they're here. Ismail, good morning. I have Hunter Henry now, but looking at waiver and his bye week, Tucker Kraft and Disley on waivers. Who should I pick up in PPR? Thanks, Jagger. Who should Ismail pick up?
I would get Tucker Kraft just because he's in a good offense and he's just a better player. So I get the Disley hype, but I like to chase actually good players.
Yeah, I think Jagger, you're right on. I think it's a good question. I understand why Disley's up there as well, but yeah, it's Tucker Kraft. All right, Michael in here. Good morning, Michael. Thanks for your guidance. Oh, I like that. That's a nice way of saying it. I have 2 lineup decisions in a 12-team PPR league. I need 2 between Juwan Jennings, Nick Chubb, Jalen Warren, and Brian Robinson Jr. Jeff, why do we have you listed as Adam Hutchinson? We're going to fix that right now.
Oh, do we?
I didn't do it.
There you go, Jeff Bell. That was on Joey. I was testing him out for the show. So Jeff, me too.
I'm sitting Jennings with concerns about the weather in that game and questions about Brock Purdy, Buffalo's semi-decent defense. I'm going to play Brian Robinson Jr., even though he burnt me bad last week. It still makes me a little bit nervous, but I'll go back there and do that again.
Yeah,
man, Chubb Warren's difficult. I've got Chubb ranked ahead of Warren, and I don't know. I think that I like Warren a little bit better in a PPR format than Chubb, so I'll just couch that.
And Jagger, I'll throw the tight end question, Njoku or Evan Ingram? Would Trevor Lawrence possibly back today?
I think I'm going to go with Evan Ingram. I know the Browns are just scary right now, and I know Njoku's a better player, and I know what he's capable of, but I don't even know who's going to be their quarterback today, to be honest, or how long they'll be their quarterback.
All right, Mike in here with us. Good morning. Full PPR. I am playing both Trey McBride and Drake London. What quarterback would be the best stack between Kyler and Kirk Cousins? Jagger, pick a quarterback.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think it's Kyler.
Yeah, I don't worry about stack there. I think Kyler's just got a higher upside.
Yep.
Can we talk about stacking for a second? When
Sure.
do you think it's appropriate?
And redraft
and
and best
redraft.
ball. Yeah. Dynasty, people get bogged down about that a lot. And I like that you just want good players and good value. Stack isn't going to help you a long term because players get traded and you can't really like plan like that. You just want talent. So
Yeah, and
That's really
I view
good.
it a little bit more in redraft is value again too.
Mhm.
And maybe I might defer to that decision if I'm an underdog that week, and I just kind of need that correlation to kind of really hit it hard. I mean, DFS, we certainly know that's been proven out, and then best ball too. And even in best ball, I think some of the benefit comes from having a higher end wide receiver and maybe a lower end quarterback that the wide receiver can pull the quarterback along, as opposed to I think some of the higher end quarterbacks, people maybe get a little bit bogged down in like Jalen Hurts is starting most weeks or not, whether or not you stack him with AJ Brown.
yeah.
So it's safe to say the shorter the window you're playing in, the more in favor of stacking you are.
Or it just or if you're like, to me, if you're making a decision within tiers, that's when I'll think about stacking. Whereas like
Okay.
it's never a decision for me almost any week between Kyler Murray and Kirk Cousins ever for me, just because of Kyler Murray's upside.
Perfect. I just wanted to break that down a little bit for
Mm.
some people that might just be starting out and maybe not know, or the name is Joey and just curious. All right. So Ryan's got a question. Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield? He's tied for first and he's playing against the other first place team. Oh, it's like rivalry week for you, isn't it, Ryan? He needs a win. Thanks for the advice, Jeff. Who's gonna be playing in the rivalry week? Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield?
I understand the pull to Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's Jalen Hurts for me. And you talk about tiers. It's just Jalen Hurts is the type of guy that could go out there and score 35, 40 points. I understand the Ravens matchup might give you some pause, but the way they attack the Ravens is through the air. And I certainly love the Baker Mayfield matchup, but I would still play Hurts.
Yeah, Hurts is my QB1, Mayfield's QB5 for the week.
Perfect. Yeah. This jersey is holding space for the Baker Mayfield one under my Christmas tree. Hopefully coming. All right, Michael in here, looking ahead to week 14, Lamar on bye. Oh, that's not good. Looking at matchups, who would we want to get for a 1 week replacement? Caleb, Carr, Wilson, Lawrence, or Levis? Got to throw Levis out of there. We don't need a mayonnaise in here today. So looking ahead,
I did
week
not come
14,
prepared for all the week 14 questions.
I know.
Yeah, I was
People are
about
ready
to
win
say-
their leagues.
I did an AMA on Reddit, and I'm like, buddy, I'm trying to get through Sunday. Like, it's
Yeah, and a peek behind the scenes a little bit. Like my week doesn't roll over to the next week until Wednesday when I start to do the DFS show and start to do like I'm still wrapping up. So to be honest with you, I haven't looked ahead. I mean, Caleb, I've been thrilled with what he's been doing lately. I don't know what the matchup is.
I'm going to be honest, just with these players, almost 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Lamar Jackson for me. To replace Lamar, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It'll be Caleb Williams still for multiple reasons. It'll like I said, I'm pretty formulaic on how I make QB decisions, and I just don't think it's that hard. I just tried to overthink it.
And Caleb's been hot lately for fantasy, not for making decisions at the end of football games, but apparently it wasn't his fault, but still. He's been hot lately, and I would ride that hot hand.
Yeah.
All right, William Taylor. Chase Brown versus Steelers or James Cook versus the 49ers? I'm going to go to you, Jagger, on this because we don't want Jeff's bias leaking into this question.
Well, it's James Cook versus the 49ers. I've said it every week that I think the Steelers are an ugly matchup. And I think we had like an outlier week, but I just don't like playing anyone in a Steeler against the Steelers except George Pickens in that matchup. That's about it. Jeff, you had a face. You disagree?
I like Chase Brown, to be honest. We're seeing Chase Brown handle 100% of the touches. We know weather's it's going to be cold, but I don't expect weather to be a factor in the same way that it could be for that Buffalo game. I don't know. I think Chase Brown's, or not Chase Brown, but I do. Chase Brown's had a higher ceiling than James Cook and probably has a higher floor too.
And I love you both. And my Christmas gift to you is not breaking the tie. Huckleberry Pop-Tart, Clubhouse Leader, name of the year. Good morning. Does Brian Robinson Jr. move up with Eckler out? I don't think it hurts. I'm expecting a pretty good game from him today. But he needs 2 in the flex for full PPR. Drake London, T. Higgins, Pollard. He's got Brian Robinson Jr. as well. And he loves the show. We love you being here, Huckleberry Pop-Tart. Said it many times. Without, the people watching, we wouldn't be here. So, Jeff, pick 2 and full PPR.
It's Pollard and Drake London for me. I think a little bit of concern on Pollard with the return of Tajay Spears. Maybe I don't know what that split's going to look like, but we saw a great game last week from Pollard. Robinson, it just makes me nervous. Got burnt last week, and then Higgins. Again, the weather has been talked about in Cincinnati. It's fair to mention. They talked about being concerned about the cold weather, and Jagger was right about the Steelers matchup. That's where I go with Drake London in a potential game that should shoot out.
Perfect. All right. Robert Morris, good morning. Half point PPR. Need a flex. Currently have Najee Harris in the flex, and he picked up Warren moving forward. Does he stick with Najee or flex in Warren? Jagger, Warren or Najee in the flex?
This is a ceiling and floor question with half PPR. If you just need a safe 11 points, I think Najee is a good guy. But if you are okay with 6 points or maybe getting 15, if Warren can catch some passes or pop a big play, then I'm going with Warren. I don't mean to give you a cop-out answer, but I'm probably feeling comfortable putting Najee because at least I know his role within that offense, and he's more likely to get a touchdown than Warren.
I don't think it's a cop-out if it's the right answer. I think that very well could be if it's a stealing or floor play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jim, welcome in again, Jim. Standard League, Pickens or T. Higgins? Jeff, we'll go to you.
Pickens for me over T. Higgins. I would rather face the Bengals defense with their primary receiver for the Steelers than the Steelers with T. Higgins.
Yep.
Yeah. Pickens is making some catches too, so it's not even like he might even bring in some stuff he shouldn't be bringing in today. All right, Bruce, welcome in. Bruce, happy Sunday. In standard, I'm not going to talk you out of doing anything, but would we talk you out of starting McConkey over JSN and Warren over Chubb? So McConkey versus JSN, Jagger?
I need to look at my rankings for that, but I could easily talk you into Warren over Chubb. If I'm chasing a ceiling, I'd rather have Warren. I just avoiding the Browns, and I know that sounds crazy. They don't know what they're doing, and I don't love that for me or anyone else. So I don't want any part of it unless I have to, or it's just a can't miss matchup. For the wide receiver, I have Ladd McConkey just ahead of Jackson Smith and Najigba. By one, like 18 and 19. So I'm going to go with Ladd McConkey just because he's the only target. And I have JSN lower than I've had him just because DK Metcalf is back. And like Jeff said, DK Metcalf is the wide receiver 1 just because Jackson Smith and Jibba gets more targets doesn't mean that he's the team wide receiver 1. That's not how football is thought of, really, you know.
And Bruce, I'm pretty sure here you're asking a wide receiver and a running back question, but if it happens to be a flex decision between Warren and Chubb, if you can get McConkey and JSN in your lineup, I would be good with that over both of those guys.
That is the actual answer.
Yeah. All right. But I think he is asking a running back and wide receiver question. All right, Matthew in here. I need to start a flex in a full PPR league out of the following: Shakir in the snow, Judy getting covered by Surtain, and Alec Pierce or ETN. So Alec Pierce and ETN have no fun little things, little qualifiers. They're just there. So Jeff, pick one.
Outside of all the things involved in it, I would pick Jerry Jeudy, but the way he's been talking and what Patrick Surtain can do, I think that it's going to be fun to watch. I don't know that I'm very bullish on the fantasy prospects there. I probably play Shakir out of all of these. I don't know what the Jaguars backfield is going to look like. Nick Whalen got on me about my pronunciation of the Jaguars, and then Pierce is just too hit or miss.
All right, Darren in here. Good morning and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, Darren. PPR, which is the better bad flex option today? DK or James Conner? Jagger, who should he start?
It's DK for me. The James Conner's going against the number 1 rush defense, so at least I can get some upside or get that one big play with DK Metcalf. I think we have a lot of recency bias and we just forget what players are and who they are and what we're buying every week. And the DK hate is he was like injured, guys, but he was tearing it up early this season. He's a good player.
Yeah. James Conner's got paid, so he's gonna rest on his laurels now. He ain't gonna do anything. Just kidding. Cool to see him get paid. All right, Luca. Good morning, guys. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We absolutely did. Hunter Henry or Pat Fryermuth? Jeff.
Hunter Henry easily.
Second part of the question.
I'm just out of him. Yeah.
Second part of the question stuff. AJ Brown, Puka Nacua, or Mike Evans? Oh,
good for you. I mean,
yeah.
AJ Brown is highest ranked for me.
Yeah.
He's my number one wide receiver this week.
Yeah, he's my wide receiver one as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Gabe Gatliff. Good morning, beautiful people. Oh, Gabe, thank you so much. I'm in need of some help with my RB2. In PPR, should he pick one over Ramondre Stevenson, Travis Etienne, Tank Dell, or Justice Hill? Appreciate the help and happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Jagger, pick one of those guys.
I'm bullish on Ramondre Stevenson this week because of the matchup against the Colts. I think there's going to be some points in there. I think these are both soft defenses and two quarterbacks who just want to look good and score points. And that is me being a little bit vibes based, but I think I'm really high on Drake May. I'm really high on Ramondre, and I like the fantasy stars in this game, not so much the real life stars, if that makes sense.
All right.
I think the Patriots are going to win today.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do. I'm annoyed by it a little bit, but it is good.
We're at that point in the season where you kind of want your teams to lose. And situations. Yeah. Andrew Goodman, back again. Always a pleasure. This next question is a little special today, guys. Rachel actually just joined the team here at Football Guys. So Tootsie Pop, Rachel, we love you. Welcome to Football Guys. Welcome to the team. But let's answer your question. Good morning, beautiful favorite people. Which two out of Lawrence, Carr, and Levis? So pick two of those quarterbacks. Oh no, I just spaced on what position they play.
Lawrence definitely for me. And I pick Carr over Levis. I like the matchup against the Rams. I think that there's going to be that's shootout potential game.
Yeah.
Right. And I do think the second part of the question is important. Which Thanksgiving food do we have way too much of this weekend? Jagger, start with you.
I'm a sweets guy, man. I have way too many pies and stuff, and I'm not sad about it, but like health wise, it's out of hand a little bit. Like I got too many sweets. I hoarded them out when I left. So,
Jeff, would you eat too much of?
Sweet potatoes. So yeah, it was kind of, my diet's really kind of limited, and so I had turkey, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, corn, and that was pumpkin pie specially made for me, and that's about it. But sweet potatoes I went to town on.
If you've ever seen me from the neck down, you probably know I could put away a plate. I ate a lot of food, but the embarrassing amount of food that I put away was probably the 11:30 p.m. Sunday night full plate of broccoli casserole. That's the only thing I put on the plate. Heated it up. It was delicious. My wife made it, and it was fantastic. And then I went to bed with a big belly of broccoli casserole. Had some crazy dreams that night, which I'll talk about on the after show. Andrew, with Trevor back, would you start Brian Thomas Jr. over McLaurin or Pickens in half PPR? Jeff?
No, I'm not starting him over those guys. I still am ranking those guys above him. I am excited about it. I think he's a great DFS play. 5,500 on DraftKings. Check out the Football Guys DFS show. But other than that, no, I still have the other guys ranked ahead.
Yeah, BTJ is kind of the same as McLaurin for me. And I think right now McLaurin's in the better offense. They're both kind of boom bust, and I would just rather have the boom bust that's attached to Jaden Daniels.
All right, something different. Can you guys give me your best sleeper plays? Oh, that came out of left field.
Noah Brown. I like Noah Brown a lot. Demario Douglas. Like I said, I'm really bullish on the Patriots against the Colts today. That's a deep cut. I'll give you another one. Adonai Mitchell. I like it. Adonai Mitchell, I think the Colts are starting to figure out that he can do a lot, and I'm hoping that he kind of works his way onto the field a lot more with a lot of these injuries. And I'm not saying he's going to replace Josh Downs, but he can play any role, and he's someone I could think is like a boom bust today. So
for me, it's not really a sleeper play. It's just kind of obvious, but Dallas Goedert, like if you look at rankings right now, he's 12th, and I think he's going to finish much better than that, especially if Devonta Smith is not playing. We said it last week, so yeah. I'd go back to Dallas Goedert.
Direct shot at Joey's heart here, but Bryce Young, David Moore.
Yeah.
David Moore playing the revenge game narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dave Canales playing the revenge game narrative a little bit. Bryce Young looking much better. Bucks defense is very gettable in the passing game. I like Bryce Young quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shot at my heart that I knew was coming, because it's 100% true. The Bucks cannot defend the pass, and all those eventually, it's all there. Jeff, I agree with you. Annie, good morning. Iffy about Brian Robinson Jr. at the flex. Stick with him or consider Bigsby, Njoku, Tajay Spears, or grab MVS off waivers. Jeff, what do we do?
It's comfortably Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah.
I don't know what McNichols is going to do in that backfield. We've seen before where it looked like a good spot for McNichols, and he didn't even hardly play at all. They really relied on Austin Eckler when that happened. I think that's in play, that we see Brian Robinson Jr. feature back. Anything's in play with the Commanders, but I think the thing that's not in play is him not being involved. Some of these other guys, Bigsby, I'm really curious there. Tajay, there's just no ceiling there. So,
yeah, and I think we're getting a lot of recency bias with Brian Robinson Jr. And I think a lot of the reasons the Commanders have struggled is they haven't had him. Like people like, with Eckler gone, how do you feel like Brian Robinson? I was like, I haven't thought about Eckler all season, to be honest. It's a non-factor for me.
Well, and it was such a smash spot last week, and you get the early injury. It was kind of just one of those things, a confluence of factors that leaves a really sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
All right, Michael. Looking ahead at playoff runs, should we drop Thielen or Debo or Corum for Walker? The hot hand, a good matchup would be Arizona.
What are you asking me?
Looking ahead for playoff run.
Drop Debo Samuel.
Do not drop Debo Samuel. Don't drop any of your studs. Don't drop Williams. If you can drop Charbonnet, I would drop Charbonnet out of any of those guys there. But I guess I don't know, man. I just think you're good for the playoffs. You've got your handcuffs to your running backs. You've got solid receivers. I just don't get cute right now. Just sit comfortable and feel like you've done well, and don't feel like you need a tinker.
Yeah, I was trying to see who you were going to be dropping the players for, and I don't see any listed.
I read it as like a streaming defense potentially, as like, do I want to grab a defense that I like? That's the way I read it.
Okay.
That's the way I read it, is like, should I drop one of these handcuff running backs that aren't playing, or maybe some of these deeper receivers to grab another defense with a good matchup, is how I read it. And no, I mean, you would be heartbroken if you did that move and then Kyron Williams or Ken Walker go down and your opponent picks up Blake Corum as a potential top 12 running back. Like that would crush you more than whatever advantage you're getting off that defense.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to stream defenses than it is starting running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Jay Blaker in here. Good morning and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. Which of these 4 quarterbacks do you prefer in week 15 to 17? It's going to be Daniels. He's a superstar. Daniels, Richardson, Darnold, and Stafford. I understand why you're asking the question. You might be floating out there, but yeah, go ahead and grab Daniels if you need to get one.
What's weird is he just named them how I had them ranked, how he had them listed is how I'd start them pretty much.
Yep. Pretty much. All right. Epidemic 619. Hola, mi amigos. I hope everyone had a blessed Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. Should I roll like a dinner roll with Sam Darnold or Bo Nix? Thanks for the sage advice as always. Jagger, what more sage advice do we have for Epidemic 619?
I'm going with Bo Nix. I have him. He's my QB 10. I like his matchup against the Browns. Just avoid Myles Garrett. That's your job as a quarterback. That's how you succeed as a quarterback against the Browns.
And go McConkey over Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep.
All right, Jay Blaker, is Pollard worth an 8th round pick next year as RB insurance for the playoffs? This is kind of it is a dynasty question, I guess. I already have Corum, Braylon Allen, Tyler Algier, and Trey Benson sitting on his bench. My starters are Walker, Montgomery, and Bijan. So would you be picking up an RB4 in Tony Pollard for an 8th round pick next year, Jeff?
Is this like a keeper question? Yeah, this is a keeper question, I feel like.
And I don't know why Tony Pollard's on your waivers if you've got Algier on your bench. I would add Tony Pollard over. I think Algier probably would be my cut, maybe Benson, but
I guess maybe he also could be trade. If you could trade, I don't know if you can trade the 8th round pick in a keeper league. I guess you can do that. All right, I'm thrown off, guys.
Oh,
Well, I don't know what's going on here. Pancakes with a picture of pancakes is here with us.
Mhm.
It's not
it
the
feels
same.
worse. I would rather
Yeah.
you change. Yeah, like
You lost
like
it.
I want you to go back to waffles. Change the picture to waffles, but like you're not pancakes. So
Yeah. Wait,
love
what if
you.
this is a new watcher and it's pancakes?
Oh wow,
Going to
that
claim
could be
the
a
throne.
thing.
Yeah.
I want you guys to fight in the comments. So
Hey, good morning, all. Running back in the flex, full PPR, 12 teams. Javonte Williams, Nick Chubb, or Jalen Warren. And yeah, we did have a great Thanksgiving. Jagger, we'll go to you.
Actually give this to Jeff. This is his last question.
Yep. Last question, then we're kicking you out.
It's
Go
Chubb for me. Yeah, no, I think what we've seen, Jag, I love you, but you talked about the Browns don't know what they want to do. I think that they do know what they want to do. They just weren't sure about the workload. But I think what we saw against the Steelers is what they want to do: rely on Nick Chubb heavily in the run game, attack downfield vertically, and I do think that they'll try to do that against Denver.
Jeff, do I even need to tell you what to do?
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. This is kind of a weird week. It might be a big week for you, or might not mean all that much to you. Let's set our best lineups. Let's go out there. Let's get that win if you need to get that win. Let's ruin somebody's day if you don't need to get that win. And otherwise, let's just have fun. And appreciate you all. I appreciate you guys. All you listeners are fantastic. And I will not push the red button.
Thank you. We love you, Jeff. We'll see you
Bye.
next week. That brings in Hutchinson Brown. Hutch, what is up, my friend?
Hello, how's it going, you guys?
Good. How was your Thanksgiving with the family?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, we hosted people at our house. It was fun times.
One of the great things about getting to know Hutch over the years is we've gotten to know his dad too. So hopefully Andy had a really good Thanksgiving as well. Hutch, you're going to be over in the Discord answering the questions after your segment today here on the show, but we got you here first to answer some questions. Are you ready for that?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. Actually, off the cuff, any players you were super duper excited to start today?
Ooh, man, I love what you guys were talking about with the Patriots and how a lot of their players are going to have a good game against the Colts. The Colts defense have been really bad this year. I'm looking at a bounce back game for Ramondre Stevenson. Really bad game last week because the game just got out of hand against Miami. Miami was able to rack up some points really quickly, and they just couldn't get the run game going. Indy's run defense is really bad. I do expect New England to win this game and have a bit of a lead. I think Ramondre has a nice bounce back game here. He's been really good for fantasy the last handful of weeks. Last week was just a real bad one, but I'm looking for Ramondre bounce back today.
Awesome.
Nice.
I know Jagger saying that as well, so that's good. All right, Hefe, and this is a half PPR league. JSN or Harrison Jr. Thanks. Hutchinson. Pick a wide receiver.
That's a tough one. I think JSN gives you more of a floor just due to the PPR volume that he gets. But I think Harrison Jr. gives you more upside this week. You saw some of the coaching staff talking this week. They want to get Harrison going. He's had 10 catches in his last 3 games. It's been quite inconsistent for him this season. And Minnesota's defense is a defense you can get wide receivers going against. They're bottom 3 in terms of fantasy points allowed. They're bottom 5 in terms of yards allowed to wide receivers. I think if you want a floor play, you go with JSN. Like if you're just trying to get like a good, like 15-ish points, 10, 15 points, you go with JSN. That PPR volume is going to be nice. But if you need like a 25, 30-point game, like you're going against the number 1 team in the league this week, you need a huge game. I think Harrison Jr. presents that upside due to his big playability.
Help. Carr or Purdy, Jagger?
Ooh.
I know it sounds crazy, but Carr has a good matchup, and I think this is going to be a weird game. I want to play with some of the Saints if I can. Like I'm not going to get cute and put MVS over like Lad McConkey because of a matchup, but if I gotta, I'll feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, Saints at home are like a different beast.
It's weird.
And it's that good matchup. It's like against the Rams. Like I just feel like it's a Derek Carr we're wondering why we understand why teams keep betting on him type game, and then he's going to turn back into a pumpkin next week. So
yeah, I agree here with Jagger that the vibes this week with the Saints are that you want pieces of this offense this week. I like Carr over Purdy.
What about Geno or Cousins, Hutch?
Who I'm going to roll with Cousins here because when you look at the matchup with the Los Angeles Chargers, this game has more shootout upside to me because the Atlanta Falcons really can't guard against the pass. They're one of the worst passing defenses in football this year, and they can score points. The Falcons get themselves in high scoring situations quite often. 6 of their last 8 games have gone above 48 total points, and the Chargers have been more willing to throw the football as of late. So I think this is going to be more of a shootout. When you look at Seattle versus the Jets, this seems like it's going to be a low scoring gross game. I don't think you want Geno in this one, but I do think you're going to want Kirk Cousins against the Chargers. I know it's been inconsistent overall for the year for Kirk Cousins, but I would take him against the Chargers.
Perfect. And
What are you laughing at, Joey?
You'll see. MJ, okay. Brian Robinson Jr. over Nick Chubb. And Andrea, good morning to you. Guys, I think I knew who this is. Not JB's grandmama. I don't know. That mustache is a little suspect. Good morning, my sweeties. Feels like it's Saturday for the 5th day in a row. Tomorrow morning is going to be a B word. And that B word is beautiful.
I appreciate the B emoji as well. Like, it's very
fantastic.
Jagger, Flex, Ridley, or Brian Robinson Jr.?
I like the safety of Brian Robinson Jr., but honestly, Ridley's been on a heater. It's hard to tell you to sit him. I would figure out a way to get both in my lineup. Hutch, who do you got here for normally I'd go to Jeff here, but I'm trusting you because I don't love my answer.
I'm completely with you that Brian Robinson is the safer option, but I talked about Ridley. I talked about Ridley on Twitter a little bit recently. Will Levis has looked okay the last 2 weeks. He's actually looked a lot better than he did earlier than the season. The last 3 weeks, he's had 3 of his higher passer rating games on the year so far over the last 3 weeks, and it's done well for Ridley in fantasy. He's had 50+ yards in each of his last 3 games. He's averaging over 70 yards a game, over 4 catches a game. And, we know he can make a big play at any point against this Washington Commanders secondary that still don't have Marshawn Lattimore. I think this is a really good spot for Ridley. So I think I would agree with Jagger that if you want a floor play like 10-ish points, you go Brian Robinson Jr., you get that running back, get those rushing yards, especially with Eckler out. But if you need an upside play, you need someone that can get you some someone that can get you a big play, you're only going to want to go with Ridley.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying there. I like Ridley a lot today, too. Mark coming to us from beautiful downtown Burbank. Like Burbank, is that California? Up? Yeah. That's
the
TV show.
Don't ask me geography questions. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. Thanks for tuning in for us this early. Debo or Tank Dell, Jagger?
Debo. Even in the snow. Do we trust Tank Dell that much to put him over Debo? I'm not there.
Debo has not looked that great this year. I'm not gonna lie. There have been plenty of plays this year where Debo has just not looked like the same player to me. There are plenty of rush attempts, plenty of receptions where it's like Debo 2 years ago would have made that play and he gets caught. I'm gonna go. I would favor Tank Dell here in the prime matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He is in our football guys rankings ahead as like we have right here. So I'll go with Tank Dell there. These are both, you could say the same thing. Neither one of these have looked great this year.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of games that they've looked normal, but not much.
Yeah, 100%.
Trone Force. That's a good name. We'll give you a clubhouse leader for the day. Somebody will come in for the better name, though. McLaurin or JSN this week? Hutch, go ahead. Which one are you starting?
That's really tough because LeJar's still out for the Titans, right? Because he was placed on IR last week, correct? Yeah, he's still out. So that puts McLaurin in a pretty interesting spot this week. But I would still go with JSN. The PPR floor is really nice, and he gives you those blow up weeks. He can make plays at every area of the field. And Cliff Kingsbury's offense has not looked the same over the past few weeks. It's been a little easy to figure out, and I'm pretty sure the Tennessee defense, even that legendary team, might be able to do a couple things there. So I'm looking at JSN this week to have a bit of a better week. That's a close one, though. That's a good question.
All right, Adam in here. Go Bucks. Good morning, football guys. 6 point per passing touchdown. Burrow or Herbert today, Jagger?
I like Burrow a little bit more, I think. Yeah, I got Burrow ahead. Even though that's a tough matchup, he's a quarterback that I try not to overthink and fade too much. And basically, only people I start over him are same caliber QBs or rushing QBs. That's about it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I love Herbert this week. I was talking a little bit how I think this Atlanta-Los Angeles game could be a shootout, but you don't bench Joe Burrow. This is somebody that can go for 40 points in any week. He has Jamar Chase, he has T. Higgins, he's got his guys. He could explode any week. And this is a divisional game. This could be really fun.
All right. And Hutch, bench one between Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, and JSN.
Oh man.
I know the
Yikes.
answer.
Is it
good.
Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, it feels like Garrett Wilson.
I
Like,
feel I mean, I don't want to say it, but like Pickens and JSN have been hot. I mean, Russ with Pickens have been working. JSN's been really good the last handful of weeks. Garrett Wilson with Devontae Adams slowly getting more involved in this offense has not been the same player for fantasy the last few weeks. And the Seattle matchup in this game, I don't think is going to be the funnest of games for fantasy football purposes. I'm benching Wilson.
And here's another thing. I like to yin and yang it when I make these decisions. I'm going to pick the one who is just an upside play and then keep one who's a safe floor. And I think JSN's a safe floor.
That's fair. Yeah, totally fair.
Dre's got a 3-parter here. I'm going to take the first 2 parts. Lad McConkey over Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
And then Jaden Daniels over Justin Herbert. But the third part, Jagger, I'm going to throw to you. Taysom Hill, Mark Andrews, or Dallas Goedert. Need one.
I'm going to play Mark Andrews. I know that I think tight end's been weird, and I'm not going to punish tight ends I think are talented. I think he's got it's going to be a shootout in Philly, and I want a part of that, and I like whatever's attached to Lamar Jackson. So
that's going to be a fun game at 4:25 today.
I can't wait, man.
Sure.
Philly fan of me.
Oh, I know.
So
Yeah,
good.
you're a Philly fan.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And Mark had 32 people at his house as usual. Not one was blood family, just a good group of friends. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes the friends are your family.
Friendsgiving, man. I love it.
Yep.
All right. And morning guys, Scary Terry, Mooney, Harrison Jr., or Addison. Just needs one for the flex.
Yeah, one for the flex. I'm picking Harrison here. I'm a little bullish on Harrison this week. I saw it mentioned earlier, but Jonathan Gannon was talking up Marvin Harrison where to get him involved today, and Minnesota's a matchup to do that. I'm gonna go with Harrison. I think this game's a shootout too.
Yeah. And then Jagger Ridley or Brian Thomas Jr. in the flex.
We answered this question. ACF.
We did.
Put it on the board.
We broke the rule. I'm gonna go to Amazon. I'm gonna order a whiteboard so it's big and I can do it real quick and be like, you're on the list. You're on the list.
And then Lou's in here talking about 16-point per reception games. We love them when we see them. Let's hope you get a bunch of those today. It's funny. The reason this like kind of clicked in my head, I had a week this season where all my players score between 15 and 17 fantasy points in a week. And I won the week with like 180 points, but it wasn't because anyone like broke out. It was just like solid 16-point games down. Even my defense scored like 16. It was
that's crazy. What you want, to be honest. It's like, everyone's pulling their weight. Good job, team.
Team win, man. Team win.
My quarterback pooped the bed, but look at this running back. Was only supposed to score 9 points. He scored 16. Way to go, buddy.
There you go.
Pat him on the back. The Bike Queen. Yeah, love seeing in here. The Bike Queen. Seen you the last few weeks. Good morning, Ridley. It's going to be Ridley over Chubb and half PPR.
Yeah.
And Lou, his question didn't finish, and then he finished it here. I have Hurts, Kamara, Irving, Chase, Ridley, Hawkinson. So he's got to get a flex here. McLaurin, Otten, or Jennings. Hutchinson, pick a flex for him.
Okay. So the first part is just all his starting line, but then okay. Now I see. That's a difficult one. I think now I would have said Jennings with Purdy playing, but this game's looking like it's going to be really heavy in terms of weather and snow. So I'm going to lean with McLaurin. Otten has not been the same last few weeks, and now Evans is back to take some targets away. And McLaurin, there's no Jarius Sneed, so there could be enough here to get it done, even though Cliff Kingsbury's offense hasn't looked the same.
Perfect. And that's a 16-team league, so that's a really good lineup.
That's a really good lineup for a 16-teamer, yeah.
I see Bucky's name on there. We don't talk a lot of props on here, but I put a prop this morning. But Bucky Irving, 2 touchdowns, over 70 rushing yards, and 3 receptions. And if it hits,
I love it.
Yeah, that'll be a nice New Jersey under my.
Just quick thing on Bucky. I love to see what we saw from Bucky Irving last week, fresh off the bye for Tampa Bay. Like they were giving him a receiving workload. He was the clear guy in terms of the rushing workload. Like before the bye, we were like, it was like Rachaad White was really involved, especially as a receiver. He was getting very involved in the red zone. But last week off the bye, it seemed to be all Bucky, and that's what it could look like our season. So this week is going to be really interesting to watch to see if that continues.
I will say that I got a lot of text messages from friends saying, "Okay, you were right about Bucky." Like for some reason, last week was the week that they conceded that. Okay, I was right Rachaad White might not be the best running back in Tampa Bay. All right, Kristen here, mighty scholars of fantasy football. I'm going to get that on my business card. Last week, we beat Dave. We did. And we shared it out there. Congratulations. Thank you so much for coming back to let us know. This week, we must defeat Alfredo. Okay, now we want this one more. Half PPR, I need 1 tight end and 2 flex out of Kittle, Taysom Hill, Nick Chubb, Jalen Warren, and that's the first time I've seen his name mentioned. It's Brian Robinson Jr., I think he's saying.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get that tight end out of the way between Kittle and Taysom. Hutch, pick the tight end.
Even though Taysom could go for 45 points, I'm going to play Kittle. He's been incredibly consistent this year at the tight end position. He's been one of those guys that you just start every week at tight end and you feel good about it.
We're flexing Taysom, baby. Like,
I don't mind it.
We're doing the psychological game here. Like, Dave Kluge has not shut up about Taysom Hill and has annoyed Alfredo about it almost every week. Beating him with Taysom Hill would be glorious. Yeah, do it. So like Hutch, thank you for the tight end, but we're gonna put Taysom in the flex. I will concede the other one. I don't care as long as Taysom's in that lineup. So.
Okay, I'll pick the third one. It's Brian Robinson Jr. I think he's actually gonna have a really good game today. I'm not so down on him. He turned in a bad week last week, but with Eckler being out, I think the opportunity to be there. He's a little bit recovered from the injury that's been hampering him. Yeah, it's Brian Robinson Jr. for me. And then Matthew Quintana, it's Burrow over Stafford. Yeah. Andrea, I need 2 wide receivers and a flex between London, BTJ, Flowers, Devontae Adams. Oh, Jamar. Oh, okay, that's Chase Brown. Ooh, glad there was a second line there, and half PPR. So Hutch, let's get the 2 wide receivers out of the way.
Yeah, the 2 wide receivers. I think we're going to go with. Yeah, I think London's the first one in this game against the Chargers. I think this could be a high-flying, high-scoring game that we're going to enjoy for fantasy. Another one I'm also going to go with Flowers, just attacking a high-scoring game. There's not a lot of great matchups here. Brian Thomas Jr. Still has been struggling out on off as of late, and the Devontae Adams, you have no idea what this game is going to go. You don't know if it's Garrett Wilson game. You don't know if it's Devontae Adams game. So I'm going to play with London and Flowers and hope for these high-scoring games to work out. And then with the flex, I would go with Chase Brown. I mean, even though he's been gross in the running game at times, for fantasy, it just works because he's very involved in the receiving game. He gets basically 100% of the running back opportunities. And yeah, that's all I got. I mean, Chase Brown is just saving so much opportunity. He's worth it for fantasy.
Mark, he's worried about James Cook with the weather in Buffalo. So I watched a weather report this morning. They're expecting that band of snow at game time to be south of where the stadium is at, or it might have been north. It's at Highland Park, wherever Highland Park is, but it's not Orchard Park. So they're wondering if snow might not even be as big a factor as they're projecting. I would stick with James Cook because even if it's a snow game, he's still going to get carries, especially over Bigsby. ETN, it's debatable. Jagger, would you play ETN over James Cook today?
No, I think they've really been committed to the run, and I know Jeff was worried, but I just think that James Cook can get a touchdown over any of the other 2 running backs in Jacksonville, and that's kind of my reasoning for wanting James Cook. It's not even for the PPR upside; is that they are willing to run the ball down people's throats. So.
Yeah, especially in the weather, like when it's cold, in the snow, potential winds as well. It makes it really difficult to throw the football. Like, so why not just run the football all game long?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Jim, I apologize, but I can't put your question up because there was a sneaky person in the chat. We had to ban him, and it kind of scrambled your question. So if you could throw that back in there, I'll try to check on it before the end of the show. I apologize. Clayton, I can see part of the question. I can't see the whole thing. Clayton, thanks for all the advice. Thank you for being here. Need 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Flowers, Thomas Jr., Shakir in the snow. And Chuba Hubbard or Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving over Chuba Hubbard. But Jagger, give him 1 wide receiver and then a flex.
I went Flowers and Thomas, and that's a good balance yin and yang. I think Thomas is due for a touchdown every time he touches the ball. He's that type of player. And Flowers always has a good PPR floor, even though he doesn't have a great matchup. But like I said, Lamar Jackson, and that's all that matters to me. I just try not to get cute about it.
Yeah, benching Oh, sorry. I just said benching Shakir, and I think benching Shakir, like I think me and Jagger are probably in agreement here. The bench Shakir is not a testament to him. It's just the weather in there, and Buffalo
Yeah.
is going to be impossible to throw the football. Like it's really, really difficult in these kind of games to chuck the football. I know the Bills are ready for that kind of weather. They play up in Buffalo, but this is just not a fun situation for the receiving room in this offense. Especially, it's already been more inconsistent than most receiving rooms this year.
Right. Scampers is here.
Morning.
Good morning, football guys. Good morning, Scampers. You're on time today. We'll give you that.
Mhm.
All right. Terminal Sarcasm. My guys, good morning. And Terminal Sarcasm thought that I underseasoned my bird. He sent me a message on Twitter and said, we'll discuss it this morning. No, I just put a picture up before I had seasoned the outside, and it came out delicious. Is that Emiliano? That's a fun name. Emiliano, Tank Dell, or Debo Samuel in full PPR. We had this question earlier, and it was quite a divided one person.
Yeah. I think I'm leaning into Tank Dell now, like especially seeing our consensus rankings. I lean towards Tank Dell, so especially the matchup's a little bit easier.
And with the question if Purdy is going to start or not, even though the coaching staff said, hey, yeah, but as we know, football guys, t-shirt on sale soon, 49ers are liars. I would play the safety with Tank Dell. He's actually going to be out there. Make it happen. See, you just speak it into existence, and eventually it happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how I got hired here. I just called Joe every day for about 3 weeks. Joe, you should hire me. You should hire me. And then eventually he's just like, please stop calling. I will hire you.
What about Bob's Joe?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Jagger, you don't know how right you are. Like, I'm truly like the what about Bob of football guys. I just kind of weaseled my way in here. All right. PPR need one out of Shakir, TJ Hawkinson, and Jordan Addison. Hutch, pick one.
Ooh, it's a little difficult, honestly. I think I would go with Addison here. He had a big game last week, and the Vikings have shown us over the past couple weeks now with Hawkinson and with Addison healthy that if Jefferson is getting double teamed, they can start to other guys, and they don't care. Like, they're totally fine with that, and Jefferson doesn't seem mad about it either. In post-game interviews, you see that he's not frustrated about it at all. Like, he's fine making opportunities for other guys, and Addison's someone that can make a big play at any moment. Hawkinson has been inconsistent since his return. They still involve their tight ends, but Addison's someone that can make a big play and score a touchdown at any moment. So I would go with Addison here against the Cardinals, but it's tough.
Jagger, Valet or Rashad White today in the flex.
I would since PPR, I'm gonna say Rashad White. I feel like he has a safe floor, whereas Devon Vele, we're just hoping for a Vele day, and that's not something that we actually want in real life. That's just something that we have for fantasy,
See, now I'm picturing a Vele Day shirt with like an exclamation point, like Vele Day.
Remember the Vuvuzelas? Like we have like a Vuvu Vele.
I like it. We'll get you in the marketing meetings. I'm not in those meetings either, so we're gonna have to crash those meetings together, Jagger. All right. Hey, Makas, welcome in. Did I say it, Jagger? I'm gonna defer to you on that. Did I say that one right?
Maybe.
Makas.
I don't know, man.
Okay, cool. RB running back, Justice Davis, Vidal, or Braylon Allen in full PPR. Hutch.
Oh,
Pick
man.
one running back.
Ray Davis, Canaville, or Braylon Allen, you're playing with these guys? I think I would play Vidal and hope that he starts to get involved. No, sorry, that's not right. I'll go with Ray Davis because the run game in Buffalo in that snow weather game should be really, really heavy. And I think Ray Davis will be able to get involved and get some touches. Vidal is a dart throw at this point. I don't want to play him, but I would lean Davis.
Awesome.
Are you there with me, Jack?
Welcome in. This is my first time I remember seeing you this year, so thanks for being
here. I agree with you. Yeah.
All right, Hart Gunther. Should I sit Derrick Henry for Chase Brown? Don't get cute. Full PPR? No. Derrick Henry. I'll start.
Heck no.
PPR, Vidal or Gus? Hutch, what do you think? Vidal or Gus?
I think you've got more touchdown upside with Gus Edwards because when they're getting around the red zone, they're probably going to give it to Gus Edwards. You've seen that a lot this year, and I think that Vidal's been a healthy scratch a lot this year. He's been very, very uninvolved. You saw the one wheel route for the touchdown that he had, but otherwise he's been basically irrelevant to this offense this year. I would play Gus Bus. I expect him to have the lead role, but you're banking on a touchdown for him.
Okay. And I'm not that worried about Haskins. Haskins was the big touchdown was against his former team, so it was like a revenge game touchdown. So,
And I mean, he did get a lot of pass blocking snaps last week, though. When Dobbins was out, he did get a lot of pass blocking snaps. He was on the field a lot for them. It was just that when they gave carries to running backs, they gave it to Gus. He saw 4 or 5 carries in the second half.
okay. I thought this was Jim Nance at first, and I was like, "We've made it, guys. This is it. I'm taking over Romo. If I win, I'm in. All right." Started out 0-4. That's the best. Well, congratulations on the comeback.
Let's go.
He's now in 4th, with many teams tied for 5th. Standard non-PPR, pick 2 out of 3. So Pollard, Drake London, and Garrett Wilson. Jagger, which one you sitting? Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
Since it's non-PPR, I'm gonna sit Garrett Wilson, and I'd want Tony Pollard and Drake London.
I'm with you.
And then Marvin Harrison Jr. or T. Higgins. Hutch.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, we're playing. I'm rolling with Harrison today.
Yeah, I believe that coach speak coming there about Harrison. I saw that earlier, and it was a little late for my home league team. First time in 12 years I missed the playoffs. It was very, very heartbreaking. Yeah. Don't go tight end heavy, guys. No matter how cute you think you are on draft days. And well, I'll take Mark Andrews in a flex spot. No, it's not that cute. All right. Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, Jagger, which quarterback tickles your fancy?
I'm not benching Josh Allen because he can run the football. So that changes everything, even with snow.
I'd agree.
JSN and Flowers are starting. Would you sub in Mondre? Hutch?
Ramondre's playing the Colts.
Yeah, he is playing the Colts. Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering who he might be mentioning.
I think
Ramondre is Ramondre, so yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah.
That's a really, really difficult situation, honestly. Like, because you have I think JSN's the one you're starting here. You get that safe PPR floor.
I might sub him in for Flowers, to be honest.
Yeah, because the problem is, like, I love this shootout potential game, but that, like, Quinyon Mitchell
and Cooper DeJean.
They've been insane this year. They've legit been 2 of the better corners in football this year.
Like, I think it's going to be Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely day is what I think, honestly.
I would agree. I would agree with you. I think subbing Mondre here for Flowers is the right choice, even though this matchup is fun. Or this shootout potential game is fun. It's just the matchup for Flowers that he's going to see are likely not optimal for him, so he might not be able to get as much as we want.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes left here with you, Hutch, and just a reminder, once we are off at 12:30, Hutchinson will be in the Discord answering all of your start-sit questions up until kickoff, whether he likes to or not.
I love to.
Will not let him leave if he tries. A little red laser will pop him in the forehead if he tries. Taysom Hill or Darnell Mooney for half-point PPR. Jagger, how much you love
Taysom Hill? I'm gonna like Taysom Hill. Just that matchup just too juicy today. I have no reason. It's all vibes, and the vibes are 40 points, baby. So
I'm with you.
Right. Sam Thomas 21. Hey guys. Hey Sam Thomas. Tom. I don't know why I added the AS at the end of his name. Half PPR, Darnold or Stroud? Hutch, pick a quarterback.
I think you're playing Stroud. The Jacksonville defense, you can just you could tear them apart. You can tear them apart piece by piece by piece. And with Nico Collins' second game back from injury, Tank Dell still looking solid, I think you got to play Stroud here and hope for a big one.
All right. And then Arizona or the Rams for the defense?
I don't like either, but the Cardinals defense have actually played better a lot lately. They've been getting some turnovers. And when you look at the fantasy game logs, they've actually been putting up 10 plus points in most weeks over the past couple of weeks in most scoring systems. So I would play Arizona. I like Jag, we've been talking about with Taysom Hill. I'm scared of how good the Saints offense is going to be this week for the Rams defense.
Perfect. Terminal Sarcasm saying, after those questions, I'm here for the banter. Wheels up. Well, hopefully we don't fail you there too. All right. 1 point per reception. Javonte, Spears, or Vidal? Jagger.
Ooh, that's scary.
It's Javonte for me. I know I know what his role is, and he has one. Everyone else is kind of question marks,
Yeah, I would agree there. It's close though.
And you say, maybe I seasoned the turkey at one point, but did you burn the potato salad? No, didn't burn the potato salad. I only had one thing I had to cook Thanksgiving. It was the turkey. My wife handled all the sides, and they were fantastic. And she made 2 pumpkin pies with my daughters. which are watching. So hi, Eliza and Tristan. Thanks for watching Daddy instead of Bluey for the first time ever. You're probably watching Bluey. You're not watching this. Who am I kidding? All right, need to Debo, MVS, Disley, or Judy. Thank you, Hutch. And this will be it for you today. So make it a good one.
We need two. We need two. Oh my goodness. That's really, really difficult. I think I'm just putting in MVS for upside. I'm putting in one MVS because you're starting two here. I want to put MVS for upside. And then my second play, I don't know. He hasn't looked too hot a lot this year, but I'm going to go with Debo in the snow game because when you have snow, you're going to look for rushing. And Debo's going to get some of those rush attempts. I think he's someone that you throw a lot of screens to, throw a lot of those underneath routes to, and he's someone that's going to get a lot of that volume. So I'm hoping to play Debo here at MVS.
Awesome. Well, Hutchinson, we've had a blast with you today. Tell the people where they can find you if they're looking for you, other than the Discord right now. We're going to. Outside of that, where can people find you?
Well, first off, Joey Jagger, thank you guys for joining me on this show. Thank you for having me on. We appreciate it a lot. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm at HutchinsonB_FF. I'm also on Blue Sky, HutchinsonB.bsky.social. I think that's how you say it. And you can find me on the Football Guys social media channels. I'm making videos there all the time. And yes, I'm going to be on the Discord for the next hour until 1 p.m. kickoff, answering all of your start sit questions. So jump in there. I'll be there for the next hour. Come and hang out. But yeah, thank you guys again for having me on the show. It was such a blast. I love Sunday Morning Live, man.
We love having you here. We'll see you next time, Hutch.
Peace.
Bye. Let's bring up Adam. Wait. God, I'm glad he's gone. All right. Get it up. There we go. Adam.
What's up?
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. How about you guys?
Doing good. I'd like to go across the board and ask everyone what their favorite football moment of the weekend so far was of the Thanksgiving days and the Friday game. Adam, what was your favorite football?
Can I go college football?
Yeah, please. Oh, I know where you're going to
Georgia Tech 8 overtimes. Did you guys catch that?
I did not.
Yeah, I did.
It
was wild. Like the rivalry weekend, this is one of the most wild ones I've ever seen. From like Georgia Tech popping off to people fighting, pepper spraying. Like it's what the kids call it. Was legitimately a whole movie. Like it's appropriate for you to say it here. It's not you just had a fun night drinking Four Locos with your homies. Stuff happened, and we're going to talk about it until the next week at least.
Jagger,
I stayed up.
I'm
sorry. I was just saying. No, I stayed up way too late watching that Georgia Tech. My bedtime's a lot sooner, but I could not go to bed. That game just kept going on and on and on.
Jagger, what was your football moment of the weekend so far?
Mine was Matt Eberflus's downfall. That watching him crash out so hard the last 4 weeks. Not even just you're not winning. You lost the game. You're just being a bad coach. Has been something to watch. And again, seeing players getting pepper sprayed. I don't love seeing that, but I love that people like NIL's ruining college and rivalries. I'm like, no, I think it's still alive and well, my boy.
Yeah.
So
on the Eberflus firing, my wife, who doesn't watch much football, she kind of humors me and she'll sit there. She watched the end of that game, and even she was like, that guy can't keep his job, right? And I'm like, I don't think so, honey. My favorite football memory or moment of the week so far was David Montgomery eating a carrot. It's brought me joy. I've watched the video dozens of times at this point. If you've not seen the video of David Montgomery getting the carrot while Jared Goff just bites into that turkey leg, it's just pure joy and pure happiness.
Yeah, I loved it. It was fun seeing the Lions make history. So it was fun to see.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe, for the hell there. I said it twice now. Oh God, I'm probably going to hell. All right, Jay Murphy 286. It sounds like Breece Hall is getting the green light. I think he should. Should I start him over Chase Brown? Yes, you should. Jack, welcome in. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Morning, guys. I have Jonathan Taylor at running back in full PPR. Pick a quarterback: Richardson, Stafford, Drake May, or Geno Smith. Adam, we'll go to you. Oh wait, go to you, and then we'll go cover the injuries.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some of the matchups on some of those other guys. I know we're pretty high on Richardson. I don't know if I would want to stack a quarterback and a running back though. I might go Geno Smith if I was staying away from that. I mean, Richardson's on our Football Guys website consensus highest ranking. That's probably the quarterback that, not taking this other Jonathan Taylor thing into consideration, but if you wanted to mix it up a little bit so you're not too involved in one game with quarterback, running back, I would go Geno.
Perfect. And Adam, I apologize. We forgot to hit the injuries. I didn't forget it.
No, you're good.
A little delayed. We just love the people so much. We want to get back to them. But looking at the out players today, J.K. Dobbins, he was added to the IR. Mm-hmm. Adam, if you've got J.K. Dobbins in redraft, is he safe to drop or should you stash him in the IR?
I mean, it depends on how deep your bench is. If you got a shallow bench, I'm okay sending him out there to IR because, I mean, the soonest that he's going to be back is like fantasy football playoffs or the tail end of fantasy football playoffs. So it's kind of the fear with J.K. Dobbins, especially given his injury history. But yeah, he's going to miss at least 4 weeks. So if you got shallow bench, IR's already filled with some guys that may be coming back sooner, he's okay to let go.
Yeah, he would. Best case scenario is week 17 is when he could return to the field. Is what it looks like. So yeah. Josh Downs also out today. Austin Eckler, Dalton Kincaid, and Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman was the latest addition to this players being listed out. Is the fairy tale over for Cedric Tillman for this season, or should we expect him back?
I mean, I think he should be back. He didn't really practice a lot this week, so the NFL has a 5-phase concussion protocol. Sounds like he's still in the early phases of that. Potentially missing next week. I'd give him a 50-50 shot for next week. But he could still be out there. I don't know that necessarily the fairy tale's over for Cedric Tillman. Just to highlight a couple of these other guys, Joshua Downs. I mean, the Colts have a bye next week. I would expect Joshua Downs. I projected him back week 15. Austin Eckler was also placed on IR with concussion, so as soon as he could come back is week 17. And then Dalton Kincaid did not practice all week. Does not sound like he's close. Still dealing with the PCL sprain. Week 15, week 16 is when I originally projected him to return. So still probably waiting another couple weeks for Dalton Kincaid.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Questionable to play today. Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Demario Douglas, Tajay Spears, and Keon Coleman. On Trevor Lawrence, this will be his first game back in a while. Adam, are we expecting any rust? It does look like he is going to play.
Yeah, he's going to play. It's the non-throwing shoulder. Really what you're worried about with that is if he's tackled or sacked and he lands on that shoulder again, you could see that flare up and him potentially exit early. We don't have, or I should say, I don't have a lot of data on quarterbacks non-throwing shoulder labral tears. For what it was worth, I mean, Baker Mayfield had a similar injury a couple years ago. He was pretty bad dealing with that injury. I don't know if it's a pain management thing, limited practice reps because they're not going to, give those guys a full workload during the week as they work through some pain management. So first game back, I'd try to stay away from Trevor Lawrence. He hasn't been a great fantasy option anyways, but depending on some of your other options at quarterback, I would try to distance myself until we see it.
Okay. On Brock Purdy, it's questionable. We've fallen into this trap a few times with the 49ers. Do you think he's going to be starting tonight?
Yeah, I haven't projected as active. Some people were freaking out because he's not throwing a lot during practice, especially to start the week. He has an injury to his throwing shoulder. He's always going to be limited or not practicing to start the week. They're going to limit the amount of repetitions that he's throwing. I'm sure, for lack of a better term, he's on a pitch count during the week during practices as they try to manage his pain. So Shanahan says he expects him to play. Looking at some of his injury data, I would expect him to play. If we hadn't dealt with that Christian McCaffrey thing at the beginning of the season, I think we would be more likely to believe this situation. It's just tough because we got burned a lot week 1, but I've got him projected active.
All right. Expected to play today: Breece Hall, Bo Nix, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Drake London. Any question marks there, or are you pretty much expecting all those guys to be in?
No, I mean, Breece Hall, we were freaking out a little bit. The Jets activated another running back off their practice squad. I mean, Breece Hall has been pretty much the primary back with some Braylon Allen sprinkled in there. Maybe you get a little bit more Braylon Allen, but I'm not too worried about Breece Hall.
It's really tough for me whenever I see Zonovan Knight has been activated not to get a little excited because it's just a cool name, Zonovan Knight. Comic character. Get excited, kids. All right. And then not expected tonight. I know he's going to try to work out pregame. Last I saw, Devonta Smith. Are you expecting a surprise? He is active, Adam?
No, I talked about yesterday that he was probably trending on the wrong side of questionable. This is a normal timeline. It sounds like he's getting close. So, week 14 could be a good return time for Devonta Smith.
Okay. And are there any other players that we didn't cover that you think we should be looking at?
Sifting through my list here, I think we covered most of them. Keon Coleman, wrist injury. I'm not expecting him to play. He was in a non-contact jersey all week. So until he gets some type of contact, dealing with a wrist injury, wide receiver should, have to deal with some contact throughout the week. So I would not plan on Keon Coleman being active.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Adam, your injury reports this season have been spot on and so helpful. So check those out on footballguys.com. They are readily available. Let's get back into these questions. Uncle Looney, he's crazy, but we still love him. Half point for McBride or Brian Thomas Jr. Adam, we'll go to you first.
I think I'm going to go with McBride after I just talked about how I'm a little hesitant about Trevor Lawrence. We've got Trey McBride as the top 3 tight end this week. So, that's even at half point PPR, I'd be going with the tight end.
All right. Miracles, which a lot of us need today. I'm down 10 points. He played 4 players. I played 2. Should I start Rams or Vikings or Jets defense? Jagger, pick a defense.
Not the Rams. The Vikings can get you a lot of. It's the Vikings only one I would play. The Jets are a punching bag right now. So,
all right, Thomas. Good morning, Thomas. Full PPR. Debo, Hawkinson, or Mooney. Adam, pick one.
I'm going to go with Debo.
Okay. Michael, another question for us today. Kittle or Disley because of the weather? Tight end premium. And he's starting Otten as well. Yeah, go ahead and start Otten today. Thank you, you funny guys. Well, Jagger's funny and Adam's funny. I try.
You're funny.
I thank you, Jagger. I just need you to say it. Kittle or Disley, Jagger? Pick one.
I'm going to go with Kittle anyway. I'm just not trying to overthink this, I guess, I'm just going to play someone I know is good.
Adam, do you know about weather? Because I have heard that the weather might not be that much of a concern tonight. Have you heard anything recently that the weather is going to be really, really bad in Buffalo?
I have not. I've never really been a big weather guy anyways, because I've stayed away from some of those games, and then inevitably someone breaks off like a 70-yard touchdown run because the defenders are sloshing in the snow as well. So I just embrace it. Like Jagger said, don't overthink it. I play good players. Kittle's been a top tight end this year. I'm playing him.
So you'll embrace medical science, but not like
exactly
earth science. So like, are you a flat earther too? Okay. Well,
no,
I'm not.
We come to fantasy football to get weird. Like we don't need that other crap. But like here's where we have fun. And
maybe we should have Kyrie Irving on the show. We talk about flat Earth
next year. We're working.
Okay.
I got it. I'm trying to get a hold of his agent. He's not responding. It's Drew Rosenthal. Okay.
All right, Mark in here. It looks like his daughter got a medal. Awesome. Hopefully you can win a fantasy trophy to go with her medal. Tight end premium, Shakir or Njoku? Jagger, pick one.
See, I'm still gonna go Shakir here. Like I'm like Adam. I might be wrong, but I can only be smart about so many things, and I don't care about weather.
And weather games are so much fun. Like when the weather's crazy. There was a Lions-Eagles game a few years back where Nick Foles like went crazy in the snow, and the snow was like super duper high.
Yeah.
KCH. My decision is standard: 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. 3 options. So Jalen Warren, Khalil Shakir, and Darnell Mooney. Adam, which one are you going to sit?
I am going to sit. Probably going to sit Warren.
Okay.
I like Mooney this week. He was dealing with a hamstring injury, so I think he wasn't great, but sometimes players coming back from, especially wide receivers coming back from that injury, the first game back can be a little bit challenging. So a week remove there. I would go back to Mooney. He's been really good this year.
All right. First couple of Sunday Morning Live. Andy and Renee Nelson are here. Morning, everyone. Shakir, McConkey, or Debo at the flex and full PPR. The answer is going to be McConkey.
Mm-hmm.
Charles in here. Good morning, Charles. Burrow or Herbert? We leaned Burrow earlier on the show, so we'll lean back that way. Michael, need to in PPR. Irving, Rashad White, Disley, or Vele on Monday night. Jagger, pick 2. And one of them has to be Bucky Irving.
I was about to say I might start just both running backs, to be honest, especially in full PPR, and feel good about it. Or I feel okay. I wouldn't feel good. I feel okay,
I've talked crap about Rashad White enough. Let me say something nice about him. One thing he does well is catch check down passes and then turn them into 10 to 15-yard gains. So I think as long as Rashad White's catching check downs and Bucky's running between the tackles, I think that Tampa Bay offense is flowing the way that it needs to. So yeah, both those running backs are options. David Moore will get us into the playoffs and pros with Joe's 5. No worries, my brother, partner, and friend. That's for Jeff Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Not if hey, Matthew Montgomery's in here. Welcome in, Matt. Burrow against a tough Pittsburgh, or Anthony Richardson versus New England, down 2 receivers. Adam, where are we going?
I'm going to go Burrow. Those division matchups sometimes can be high scoring. We've seen that with the Bengals and the Ravens? I mean, that was like a shootout. So I still play Joe Burrow.
And check out Matt's IDP info or Football Guys. That's fantastic. All right, Smitty in here. Got here late. Well, as long as you're here. Smitty looks very, very much like my best friend. To a point where I'm wondering if my best friend's in here under a pseudonym, but no, it's not. PPR in his flex, Irving or Brian Thomas. This is actually kind of spicy. Jagger.
I'm probably going to put Brian Thomas in there, but this is for real. This is a true ceiling and floor question. Like Irving, I feel like has a safe floor and like a nice ceiling. So the more I'm talking through it, I think I'd feel more comfortable putting Irving in than Trevor Lawrence, but I would try to work Brian Thomas into my lineup, but you're probably stacked from where you drafted Brian Thomas, assuming that you didn't draft, one of the injured guys like Brandon Ayuk or something. So Irving, sorry that took so long to get there.
No, it's fine. I mean, I wasn't going to fire from the show if you said BTJ. I don't have that power.
Okay.
Just because I love Bucky Irving. So, just letting you know. I can take criticism against my players that I like. Happy PR. Evans, Ladd, DK, or Brian Thomas Jr. Looks like we need one. Adam, which one is it going to be?
That is very tough. I'm probably going to play Mike Evans.
Yeah, you didn't have to say it, but I got to hold my jersey up, so I'm excited. JSN, Nico, AJB, Garrett Wilson, BTJ, pick 3.
So we're
AJ Brown's one of them for sure.
Yeah,
JSN and Nico.
Yeah, we're just benching BTJ, right? I think.
Well, Garrett Wilson's in there too, but he's not.
Oh, yeah.
So you almost had him in my order. Actually, no, you didn't at all. AJB would be first.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Toby, 2 cats. Take it easy, scampers. With bad weather expected in Buffalo, is considering sitting Kittle to play Taysom in the Dome versus the Rams. Too cute. I actually don't think that's too cute. Jagger, is it too cute? Would you play for safety? Would you play Taysom over Kittle?
I know there's probably someone in my flex I would put Taysom over. Actually, I don't know that, but I think I'm going to play Kittle, but I'm going to try to put Taysom in as many lineups as I can. I know that sounds wild, but this matchup is crazy, and I'm willing to bet on that. So,
Jim in here, he got back to us. Oh, wait. Yep. Pick 2 out of 3. Pick 2. He's like remixing his question.
Mm-hmm.
Standard League, pick 2. Pollard, London, Garrett Wilson. Start at 0-4, and if he wins at he's in. It's going to be Pollard and London.
Yeah, so I thought we answered a similar one. I don't know.
I think he asked a different question,
Mm-hmm.
but I know we got one from him earlier. Jeff Crawford, I don't envision starting Kareem Hunt ever again. Would like to invest either in a backup running back, Algier, for example, but I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Vidal. So I guess the question is drop Hunt for Vidal.
I
Adam, would you do that?
wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I've been a little skeptical of Isaiah Pacheco, just given his injury, given his running style. You could make the argument Kansas City was just easing him back, but that workload did not immediately go 100% back to Isaiah Pacheco with him being active. And then, so you're basically have got a handcuff at this point, either Kamani Vidal, because he's not really going to be relevant unless another injury happens. I know he's involved a little bit, but Hunt is the better handcuff. I mean, God forbid something happened to Isaiah Pacheco again. Kareem Hunt goes right back into a role where he's a fringe top 12 running back. So I'd be holding on to Hunt.
If this was a dynasty question, does your answer change?
No, to be honest, no.
Okay.
Not for me.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if you're not in it. I mean, if you could trade Kareem Hunt for something, because I don't know, he's like 29, 30 years old, Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kamani Vidal is dynasty bro wish casting at this point. Like we're hanging on to hope. Yeah, like if he's had every chance to be the guy, and it just hasn't happened.
We've done this with like Jaleel McLaughlin. There's a handful of guys where it's like you see flashes, but the NFL and coaching staff keep them in that specific role because they're not confident giving them a full complement of snaps.
Exactly.
All right, Carr or Levis, and Carr's not playing the New York Giants. Carr's,
he's playing against the Rams. Yeah. But Carr is who I want.
Yeah, Carr is. It's going to get weird in New Orleans today. Jack, McConkey or Devontae Adams? It's McConkey. And then, we answered that one. D. Smitty TV. Hey, what's up, Smitty? Which of these two, Bucky Irving, Zay Flowers, or Brian Thomas?
You ranked him.
There was. Go ahead.
I said he ranked him kind of for me. So.
Yeah, he did. It's tough between Flowers and Bryant because I could see how both of them don't succeed today, but I trust Zay Flowers a little more. I agree. Carr or Purdy in the snow, Adam?
I'm probably gonna go Purdy. If you really want to play it safe, I understand playing Carr. We've got still got some question mark about Purdy's shoulder, but I don't think Carr has a high enough upside for me to bench Purdy.
And Matt Montgomery in here. Saints at home are greater than 300 Spartans. And that
exactly. Yeah.
All right. And Keon Coleman. What? Kenyon Cole. Wow. See, that's just like, when you read too many dynasty charts, look what happens. Pick 2, JSN, London, or Chuba. I think it's JSN in London pretty safely there.
Yes.
And then Mike, it's going to be Kyler. We've got about 7 minutes left. We'll try to get through as many of these as we can. I can't catch a brick. Quentin Johnston or Vele for full PPR, Jagger?
It's Vele for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how disappointed I was in Quentin Johnston the last week. Everything that hit him just fell on the ground. Cam, JSN, Flowers, Brian Robinson Jr. We've kind of had this pick too. It's going to be JSN and Flowers. And then he said, thanks for the insight on Burrow. Bengals by 40. Wouldn't we all like to see that? Heidi, welcome in. Glad to see you in here. Need one flex out of Jennings, Gus, and Brian Robinson Jr. She likes Robinson, but he burned her last week. Is this the time for the Gus bust? 63 yards and 2 touchdowns? Adam, what do you think of those numbers?
I think it's 30.
I don't know.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't know about those numbers. I mean, I think we're kind of overlooking the Brian Robinson Jr. hurt you because of the injury.
Yeah.
I know he's active this week. I'd still be a little bit hesitant with an ankle injury. I think I would go Gus Edwards. I'll acknowledge I might be overthinking that a little bit, but I just unless Gus gets hurt, I know he's going to be pretty much handling all the Chargers RB snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think when you're looking at a flex position versus starting running back, while it shouldn't matter as much, like in a flex, if you get a touchdown, you're pretty happy. And I think Gus, out of these 3 guys, has the best chance of falling in the end zone today.
Mm-hmm.
George G, anti-league. Mayo boy, Levis, or coming back from injury, Lawrence. So is he saying this league is you start at the worst?
That's what I like. I'm gonna say if I want who I think is better, I'm always gonna go with Lawrence. It's hard for me to trust Levis even after 3 games, and I know I'm asking a lot to say I need to see one more, but I just need to see 1 or 2 more before I'm putting in Mayo boy. So like,
Yeah. In terms of sarcasm, has sarcasm, but he's also a liar. So he lied to us. Pop Douglas or Pittman and Scott Fishbowl. Thanks, Home Slices. Adam, pick one of those wide receivers for Scott Fishbowl.
I'd pick Pop Douglas. I mean, Pittman is not right this year. He's been dealing with that back injury. He probably should have gone on IR. I commend him for battling through that, but he's very clearly not 100%.
that boy ain't right.
Yeah.
Jay Ray's drunk drawer in here with us today. Pick one for his non-PPR flex spot. Terry McLaurin, BTJ, Brian Robinson. It's going to be Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Johnny 5, he's still alive. Hi, guys. Need to start. Do you guys get that reference? No? Okay.
A little, kind of.
Short circuit? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Needs 2 starting running backs out of Brees Hall, Ken Walker, James Cook, and Bucky Irving. Oh, congratulations there. Already flexing Drake London, so pick 3. I should start over him. So, okay. So 2 running backs we need for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, pick 2 running backs. Oh, that's tough.
I'm going to pick Ken Walker. And I know I said Brees Hall should be right. He hasn't been very good, and that might be the Jets' offense. So I'd be okay playing Bucky Irving in full PPR, Ken Walker and Bucky Irving. I don't know if I'd play either one of those guys over Drake London, though. So I'd leave Drake London in there.
Yeah.
It's a stacked RB room, though.
Beautiful running back room. Justin Suris, pick 2, Metcalf, Pittman, and Pickens. Jagger.
We know.
It's gonna be,
we know.
Yeah. Pickens and Metcalf.
Yep.
And then, I love this decision for you, George. Jaden Daniels or Josh Allen? Adam?
I'll go Daniels.
Okay. And then, yeah, we hold no punches, Matthew. We
opened it up with the slander this morning. It was on the show sheet. Joey was just like, "Hey, George or Deebo Samuel, we're very anti, but we're pro George Pickens." He basically is like a lobbyist, and he tells us what our agenda is every day. What kind of
That's exactly how the show works. The funniest part of what you said was that we have a show sheet.
Yeah, I know.
Full PPR, Jennings or Zay Flowers? I'd say Flowers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Augustin Camacho is one of the guys in Predator that was in the woods with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The OG, okay.
Yeah. Warren, Chubb, Thielen, or Juwan Jennings? Flex full PPR. Adam. Pick one.
I'm torn between Chubb and Jennings, which is wild to say in the year 2024. I'd probably go Chubb.
All right. Yeah, Peter, what's up, buddy? How you doing? All right. Play Kettle. Aaron Wegner, Superflex, need 2 out of the 3. Richardson, Stroud, or Drake May? Jagger, I'll throw this to you.
I'm big on Drake May. I have him in my top 12 this week, so
okay.
I'm trying to put him in my any lineup I can.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then Ramondre Stevenson versus the Colts or Khalil Shakir versus the 49ers, Adam?
I'd go Stevenson. Colts are pretty bad.
All right, Jagger, I'm going to throw this to you. Likely or Disley? Because you said today you think might be a likely game.
Yeah, I would put in likely. I'm playing that game script where I think they're going to take away Zay Flowers and the receivers and then let Mark Andrews and or Zay Likely pick them apart.
All right, Norman in here. Jennings, Harrison, or Dell. That's James. If that's Marvin Harrison Jr., go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
And thanks for the advice. McBride or Taysom, go with McBride. May need a boom performance after Lamb's letdown. And then not JB's grandmama, Georgia Tech UGA gave him 37 heart attacks, 37 in a row. And it's a good day not to be Ryan May, my sweeties.
Oh.
Thank you for if you know JB's grandmama, not JB's grandmama, just thank them for being appropriate so that I could put all of their lovely sweetie comments up today.
Yes.
Guys, that is going to be the show for us today. Happy Thanksgiving if we didn't already wish it to you once before. Adam, do you have any messages for the lovely people watching us right now? All 801 of them.
Good luck this week. We're at the home stretch, so make sure you're staying engaged. And to best do that, head over to Footballguys. We'll keep you going all the way into your fantasy football championships. And then I will have the injury roundup, as always, dropping Monday morning.
Jagger, anything?
I love you guys, and I'll see you guys over at the Dynasty Show. We'll have our newcomer Mike Cash on this week. After that, we'll have Hutch on, and we are working and ramping up on rookie content. So come check us out.
Awesome, guys! Thank you so much. Make sure to like and subscribe, and go out there and win your matchups. Get into the playoffs. I think playoffs for most leagues start in the next 2 weeks. We want to see all of you back every week until the championship week. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
See you.